Hello there. This is Cindy at cindybdesigns.com. Thank you for joining me today. That is the card that we will be making. More shots coming up. We are using the beautiful Follow Your Art suite, which is in the annual catalog on pages 52, 53, and 54. That's kind of a sample card I started out with, kind of left it, got some more ideas, and thought I would start turning on the camera. And here we are. That is It Starts With Art stamp set. Those are the arts and craft dies, which is part of this bundle. We are using our exclusive colors today in Bermuda Bay, Daffodil Delight, Old Olive, and Real Red for our ink. And for our Stampin' blends, we have dark Daffodil Delight, dark Real Red, dark Bermuda Bay, and the light and dark crumb cake. So to get started, I have a piece of 3 3/4 by 5 1/2 regular Whisper White cardstock. And I'm opening up our new style ink pads, and that's how simple it is. You flip open the lid like that, push it back, line them up, and what I really love is that sticker strip that we can put in front to show us which color that we are using as we line everything up. And that was new about 1.5 years or so ago. So yes, love these new ink pads with a new ink formula on top of it. When I do my own backgrounds, I like to start in the middle and step my way out. But this time around, I just went with the colors. And I probably should have added a couple more of those larger images, but I'm making sure, because you'll be able to see when it's done, but I fix it. But I'm making sure that I dry it off very well too, because our ink pads are water-based, and if my image is still wet, I don't want it smearing on my cardstock or anything like that. So we're going to put down all 4 colors to design part of our paper that we're making. But in our suite, we have the stamp set, the arts and crafts dies, the designer series paper, embossing folder with buttons on it, an embellishment kit that has felt accents, little hearts and buttons, charms, which I'm a big fan of and love, washi tape. My favorite, it would have to be the little mini shipping boxes that we have. I've used them on a lot of different projects. Go to my blog at cindybdesigns.com and type in Follow Your Art, or It Starts With Art, or Arts and Crafts, and everything I've done with this suite will turn up for different ideas. So to fill in my spots there where I have too much white, I'm using the re-inker bottle image and the 2 button images, and once again using those same 4 colors to pull it all together. So I'm going to let you just enjoy this process of laying our colors down, and hopefully you'll try designing your own designer series paper at some point in time in the future, because it's fun. There's no rules. And the best part is it's just you, and you wing it and get creative. I'm taking the smaller button image now, and I'm laying that down in different color inks just to fill in those white spaces a little bit more, and that is what we look like. Moving on, I'm bringing in my favorite tool, as you know, which is the Stamparatus, and that is our sentiment strip. That is 3/4 of an inch by 4 1/2. And I'm laying that down in Memento Tuxedo Black. And now it's time to put down our main image that we're going to be coloring in with our Stampin' blends and die cutting out of the 3 ribbon spools. That's going to go down in Memento Tuxedo Black again. And I'm going to flip the cardstock, give myself a second image to work from just in case I blow the first, because that's entirely possible. But I'm going to lay down some of our grid paper in the meantime right there, close the door of the Stamparatus and leave the image on top. And you've seen me do this before, so I can go back and restamp the image and make it very, very crisp because you know how I am about my lines. I'm taking our alcohol Stampin' Blend markers to our image on crumb cake cardstock. I have no smearing here, which I'm really grateful for. That normally happens on our regular Whisper White. So when you use blends, you want them to be on our thick Whisper White. And I'm using the brush tip and the nib of our markers. That is dark crumb cake. And I'm putting that in the center of the top ribbon spool and the bottom of the rest of them. And again, I'm going to alternate in between the nibs, and that is the light crumb cake. Yeah, skip into it because I do that. The first ribbon color is going to be the dark real red. The second is going to be the dark daffodil light, and the third is going to be Bermuda Bay, and that's also in the dark. If I wanted to really differentiate the lines there, I could have pulled in the light Bermuda Bay and kind of got to town with that a little bit, but I didn't do it. But there's ideas and a ton of things that you can do with this suite, especially with all those embellishments that you get with it when you order the entire bundle. So I'm going to finish coloring this in with my markers, and as you can see, when I use my Stampin' Blends, I color on the side of my marker. I don't want to dull the felt tip on the end there. And I'm so happy that Stampin' Up! Now has their own alcohol markers in our exclusive colors, because I do love to color, and there's so many things that you can do with these alcohol markers, techniques, tip-to-tip coloring, blending your own colors, making your own new colors. Each set has 2 colors, but when you do tip-to-tip, you can pull it into 3 or 4. Again, lots of techniques, and if this is something that you're interested in learning more about, let me know. I have no problem throwing together a class or doing anything like that, kind of getting down and dirty with our alcohol markers. And that is what our image looks like. So I've colored in both, and I'm going to put the image panel back into the Stamparatus. I'm going to re-ink our clean mount stamp in Memento, and then lay that down again on top of what I colored. And you can see the difference between the lower left and the top right, what that does to your image there. Because I love having my images very crisp. So I'm bringing in the Big Shot and the Arts and Crafts dies. Those are the borders along the bottom that I've completely forgotten about. And you know how I love to use my border dies on pretty much almost everything I make. I'm going to line up the die cut, but in the new catalog coming out in a few short months, we also have a new die cutting and embossing machine coming out, which I should have my hands on probably in about 4 to 6 weeks. And I hope that you will come back and see new videos, and we can go through that together too. So I've cut out our main image there, and now we're going to construct the card. Once again, I'm bringing in my Stamparatus tool to put down our image panel there. I'm going to lay down some liquid adhesive there, Tombow Mono, very thin strips, making sure everything is lined up the correct way, and laying that down flat. So we're starting to get into the home stretch a little bit here, laying out my sentiment strip. I do wish that I had put the sentiment a little bit more towards the right, but it did work out because I had to tilt my ribbon image there on the crumb cake cardstock. which gave like a little bit more interest to the card that I think. But you know, with our products, it's just so easy to do anything that you want. You're going to see me cut into my black Stampin' Dimensionals there. The edges, we call them the bones. I use every single sticky part of that, of any kind of adhesive. Lots of ways to utilize that. No waste. And I put them in those really thin areas of different die cuts. So again, we are getting into the home stretch here. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. There's just so much that you can do with the Follow Your Art Suite. And here we are. This is very clean, very simple, very easy to make. Lots of die cuts in there that you can see of those buttons with debossing and embossing on them. All of our Stampin' Up! Suites have fantastic products in them. So if you want to pick this up, go to cindybdesigns.com. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Please hit like and subscribe. Leave a comment if there's anything that you want to see. I hope that you have a fantastic weekend. God bless, and I will see you next week.